In this episode, I managed to get most of the engine accessories back on, as well as paint the engine. I'm starting off with the sump. I originally had a sump from an early Commodore which I didn't find out until I realized it wouldn't fit over the oil pickup. Someone was very generous and offered me the correct HKTG style sump, which I'm putting back on now with new gaskets. Here you can see I tried to fit the early Commodore sump over the oil pickup and it clearly won't fit. Now that I've got the correct style sump, I can clean it down and give it another paint job and put it back on the engine. I put some paint on the rocker cover as well. I'm using an enamel paint, Chevy orange color. I know it's not the original red motor color, but I think it looks really good. I put the timing cover back on the engine. I left it in this polished finish for now. Not sure if it'll stay like this. Let me know what you think. For anyone who's planning on doing this, be careful with the bolts. I snapped one putting them back on. They've got a short thread and a long shank, so they're very easy to twist off. You can see now that the correct sump fits over the oil pickup. Next, I put the oil pump back on. I didn't prime it here. I'll take it back off and prime it before final assembly. I was just putting it on the engine so that I could paint it all the one color. Time to put the head back on the block. I used a new gasket, carefully put the head back on, then I can start torquing down the new head bolts in the correct order. Make sure that you check your workshop manual or another reference when you're doing this. Next, I can put on the lower thermostat housing. Here's the engine ready for paint. I've taped up any parts that aren't being painted and I put the old spark plugs back in to protect the internals. I decided not to paint the water pump. I just wanted to break up the colour of the engine a bit. I'm putting the original upper thermostat housing on. I didn't put in a thermostat because I think I'll put in a water temperature sensor, and use an electric fan once the engine goes in the car. Now I can put the rods and rockers back on the engine. The process to set the rockers is: tighten the nut down until there is no movement left to right of the rocker on the valve stem, then do a half turn more on the nut. With the rockers all set, it's time to put on a fresh gasket and put the cover back on the engine. I'm currently building a house which has been delayed due to COVID, so unfortunately at this stage I can't go any further with the engine. Once my house is finished, I'll be bringing my HG Kingswood wagon to live with me, and hopefully I can make some videos on the process of fixing that up. With most of the parts back on the engine and a new coat of paint, I couldn't help myself and offered the intake manifold and carby up to see how it looks. I also painted the extractors with a high heat paint which requires baking. For this process I put the heat gun in the extractors and blasted with them the heat. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.